The planet lay under a strange green sky, its atmosphere thick with energy that shimmered like sunlight through water. Captain Alex Hunter stepped carefully onto the rocky surface, his boots crunching against the crystalline soil. He paused to take in the scene. This was not just any alien world. It was older than any map had suggested, a place filled with ruins and glowing structures that hummed faintly in the quiet air. The wind carried whispers of power, though no living being seemed present. Alex adjusted the strap of his gear, his eyes scanning the horizon. The alien research facility loomed ahead, sleek and metallic, yet somehow blending with the natural environment around it. The entrance was guarded by tall, slender beings, their skin shimmering in shades of silver and gold. They regarded him with sharp, intelligent eyes, their limbs moving gracefully as they adjusted controls Alex didn't understand. A sign near the entrance drew his attention. Its letters glowed in a strange language that shifted as he stared at it. A translation device on his wrist beeped softly. "Do not touch." The words were simple, yet they carried weight. Something in the atmosphere made Alex's skin tingle, and he could feel a strange pulse, almost like a heartbeat, emanating from deep within the facility. "Captain Hunter," one of the aliens spoke, its voice a melody of clicks and tones that somehow translated perfectly in his mind. "You are to observe only. The device within is not to be touched." Alex nodded, keeping his tone steady. "Understood. Observation only." He took another step forward, his curiosity stirring uneasily in his chest. He had followed orders countless times in his life, but something about this place, this energy, felt alive. The alien researcher did not speak again. Instead, it guided him into a large chamber where the artifact rested. It was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. A sphere floated above a pedestal, rotating slowly, covered in intricate symbols that seemed to shift and rearrange themselves when looked at directly. Light flowed along its surface, pulsing in time with the faint thrum in the air. The other alien scientists hovered near the control panels, their fingers moving in rapid, elegant motions. Occasionally, one would glance toward the sphere with an expression Alex interpreted as caution mixed with awe. They spoke among themselves in rapid tones, and Alex noticed that every so often the sphere responded, a small vibration, a flicker of light, or a sudden shift in energy patterns. Alex stepped closer, keeping his distance from the sphere, but the pull was irresistible. His hand itched to reach out to feel what no human had felt before. He could sense its power in the air, an invisible current that whispered possibilities to his mind. He remembered the sign. He remembered the warnings. And yet, a small voice inside him argued, telling him that understanding often required risk. Hours passed, though time felt distorted in the chamber. The sphere's energy seemed to change subtly with Alex's presence, responding to his thoughts and feelings as though aware of him. The aliens noticed and their movements grew anxious. One of them, taller and more commanding than the others, finally spoke, his tone sharp. "Do not approach closer," he warned. "It is not meant for you. Its power is unpredictable." Alex swallowed. His instincts screamed caution, yet another part of him, the part that had carried him through countless missions where hesitation meant death, urged him forward. He could feel that the sphere wanted him to act. As if drawn by invisible strings, Alex stepped closer. His fingers trembled slightly, but his eyes remained fixed on the sphere. He thought of all the times humanity had been underestimated, of all the worlds humans had faced and survived when others would have faltered. Perhaps this was one of those moments. He reached out. The moment his fingers brushed the sphere's surface, the world seemed to explode in light. Alex felt energy surge through his body, cold yet warm, sharp yet soft, all at once. It was not painful, but it was overwhelming. His mind filled with visions, stars being born, civilizations rising and falling, machines of unimaginable complexity moving with purpose. He saw patterns in energy, in life, in thought itself. The aliens recoiled, their movements frantic. They gestured and shouted in their language, but Alex could not respond. His mind was flooded with understanding, and yet the comprehension was incomplete, like trying to read an entire library in a single second. When the light dimmed, Alex fell to his knees. The chamber seemed unchanged, yet everything inside him had shifted. He could feel the energy of the sphere flowing through him, not as an outside force, but as a part of himself. The air hummed with quiet power, and he realized he could perceive things the aliens could not. He could see their energy signatures, read the flow of their machines, anticipate the next movements of the objects around him. One of the aliens approached cautiously. "You survived," it said, its voice a mixture of fear and disbelief. "No being has ever survived the activation. You are different." Alex nodded slowly, still catching his breath. "I'm fine," he said, though even he knew that fine could not describe the transformation he felt inside. "But I don't understand it yet. I just felt it and I acted." The alien's eyes widened. "Humans are unpredictable," it whispered. "Perhaps that is why you were chosen." Alex did not fully understand what that meant, but the sense of possibility filled him with determination. He had disobeyed, yes, but he had survived. And survival was not enough. He needed to understand, to learn, to see what the sphere could do, and perhaps what humanity could do with it. The alien researcher led Alex to a smaller chamber nearby. "You must rest," it said, though its tone suggested unease rather than care. "The energy will integrate with your body slowly. It may change your abilities, your perception, even your thoughts." Alex nodded again. "I'll rest. But I won't waste time." Even as he lay down, he could feel the energy moving within him. His mind was alive with patterns and questions, each more complex than the last. He closed his eyes, trying to quiet the flood, but even in sleep he could sense the pulse of the sphere, its subtle guidance tugging at him. Hours later, he awoke to a disturbance in the chamber. The alien scientists were in panic, gesturing frantically at displays showing rapid energy fluctuations outside the facility. Alex stood immediately, his senses alert. Something was coming, something big, something dangerous. The artifact had not just chosen him, it had signaled a warning. One of the aliens approached him, urgency in every movement. "There is a faction, they know the power of the artifact. They will come. You must prepare." Alex's mind raced. He could feel the artifact's energy resonating in his body, giving him awareness beyond human limits. He could anticipate, react, even manipulate the energy around him. Yet he also knew that this was just the beginning. He had acted against orders, disobeyed the warning, and in doing so, he had changed the course of events on this world. The alien researcher studied him closely, as if weighing the possibility that humans were capable of things even the most advanced alien civilization had not imagined. "Perhaps you are the first human capable of mastering this power," it said softly. "Or perhaps you are the beginning of a new path for all of your kind." Alex did not respond immediately. He focused on the pulse of the energy inside him, feeling its rhythm, its will, its potential. He knew that survival was only the first step. The real challenge would be learning to use this gift, to protect it, and to face whatever forces were coming. Outside the chamber, the sky had grown darker, the green hue deepening as if reflecting the tension within the facility. Shadows moved among the ruins beyond, shapes that Alex could sense even before his eyes detected them. The alien faction approaching was more than a threat, they were a test, and Alex was ready. He took a deep breath and looked at the sphere one last time before moving toward the preparations. Its light pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat that matched his own. For the first time in his life, Alex felt truly connected to something greater than himself, a force that could reshape not just a planet, but an entire galaxy. And he knew that by disobeying the warning, by choosing to act when others feared to move, He had already changed everything. The stage was set. The human soldier, altered and empowered, would face what no one else could. And the galaxy, unknowingly, was about to witness the unpredictable courage of humanity in full display. The chamber was quiet, but Alex could feel the tension in the air. Outside, the green sky darkened further, thick clouds moving unnaturally fast across the horizon. He sensed shapes approaching, distant but unmistakable. His new awareness allowed him to perceive energy patterns in a way no human should, yet it felt natural. The sphere's power had not only survived in him, it had changed him. The alien researchers continued their frantic work at the control panels, their movements sharp and anxious. Alex stepped closer, sensing the pulse of their thoughts. They were worried, not just for themselves, but for the artifact, and now for him. Even though they had warned him against touching it, it seemed that they recognized a truth about him that even he did not fully understand. "What is coming?" Alex asked, his voice calm, carrying an authority that surprised even him. "The Carith," one of the taller aliens replied, eyes wide. "They are a faction that seeks power above all. They will not stop until the artifact is theirs and all who protect it are destroyed. They have advanced weapons, faster ships, and countless soldiers." You must be prepared," Alex nodded. The fear that might have gripped a normal human was replaced by a steady focus. He felt the energy flowing through him, not like a weapon but like a guide. He could sense the environment, anticipate movements, and even perceive subtle weaknesses in the structures around him. The Carith would find no ordinary human here. Hours passed as the aliens prepared defenses. Alex observed and learned quickly, his senses absorbing the complex technology around him. He noticed that the defensive shields were partially unstable, and certain energy conduits could be rerouted to create stronger barriers. He spoke to the aliens, giving precise instructions. They hesitated at first, surprised by the human confidence, but followed his guidance. Within minutes, the facility was optimized beyond anything the aliens had attempted before. Then the first warning arrived. The sensors detected ships descending from the sky, moving fast, sharp, and precise. The Carith fleet was approaching, their energy signatures aggressive and overwhelming. Alex felt the tension of the moment, and yet he remained calm. The artifact pulsed within him, and he realized that it was not just guiding him, it was lending him insight. He could almost predict the attackers' movements before they happened. The aliens watched as Alex moved among the control panels, his hands adjusting settings with ease, rerouting energy flows and strengthening defenses. He noticed the smallest details, the faintest fluctuations in the Carith approach patterns, and responded immediately. Their weapons fired, and the facility's shields absorbed the first blasts, pulsing dangerously under the strain. Alex could feel every vibration, every energy spike, as if the facility itself was alive and responding to him. As the Carith landed, a squadron of soldiers emerged, their armor black and jagged, their weapons crackling with power. Alex stepped forward, standing at the forefront of the defense. His body moved almost instinctively, coordinating with the energy around him. He could anticipate attacks, dodge projectiles, and counter in ways that seemed impossible. Every move he made was precise, every decision exact. The Carith hesitated, unsure of how a single human could command such energy. Their leader, taller and more heavily armored than the others, stepped forward, his weapon raised. "You should have left the artifact alone," he growled, voice reverberating with power. "Now you face the consequences." Alex's eyes narrowed. "I'm not here to destroy," he said. "I'm here to protect, and if you want the artifact, you will have to get through me." The first wave of Carith soldiers attacked, but Alex was already moving. He sensed their energy, predicted their strikes, and countered with precision. He redirected energy from the facility, creating barriers and force fields that repelled the attackers. They fired relentlessly, but Alex's control over the energy allowed him to manipulate the battlefield itself. Rocks shifted, shields shimmered, and energy pulses struck the invaders with surprising force. The aliens watched in awe. They had studied the artifact for centuries, yet no one had ever used it like this. Humans, they realized, were unpredictable in a way that was neither reckless nor weak. Alex's courage, combined with his ingenuity, created strategies that no alien mind could conceive. Despite their advantage in numbers and technology, the Careth faltered. Alex moved among the chaos like a conductor, directing energy, guiding the aliens, and anticipating every strike. His body and mind were in perfect harmony with the artifact, and with each passing moment, he grew more confident. He could feel the artifact communicating in subtle pulses, guiding him, lending him insight, and revealing possibilities he had never imagined. Then a massive Careth warship descended, its energy weapons charging for a devastating strike. Alex's pulse quickened, but he did not panic. He raised his hands, feeling the flow of energy around him. He manipulated the field, creating a barrier that absorbed the weapon's discharge. The blast hit the facility, shaking it violently, but the shields held. Alex's calm determination inspired the aliens to act with renewed courage, and together they strengthened their defenses further. The Careth soldiers regrouped, their leader glaring at Alex with frustration. He had underestimated the human. "Your species is dangerous," the leader hissed. "How can one being resist the artifact's power?" Alex stepped forward, his eyes bright with determination. "Because we act with courage and reason," he said. "We use our minds, not just strength. That is why we survive." The battle continued through the day, and Alex's understanding of the artifact deepened. He could sense the energy of the environment, predict attacks, and find weaknesses in the Careth formations. His instincts guided him, but it was more than instinct. It was a connection, a bond with the artifact that allowed him to think faster, move more precisely, and see solutions where none existed before. By nightfall, the Careth began to retreat. They had underestimated not just Alex, but the human's combination of courage, creativity, and adaptability. The aliens watched silently, a mix of fear and respect in their expressions. Alex stood among them, his body tired but his mind sharp. He had disobeyed the warning, touched the artifact, and changed the course of this battle. The alien researcher who had first spoken to him approached. "You have done what no being before could," it said softly. "You are remarkable. Perhaps this is only the beginning of what humanity can achieve." Alex looked at the sphere, now calm and pulsing gently. He could feel its energy within him, steady and strong. "I didn't do it for power," he said quietly. "I did it because someone had to. And we all survived because we worked together." The aliens nodded, understanding the truth in his words. Courage, intelligence, and the ability to act decisively had allowed a single human to protect a powerful artifact and repel a dangerous enemy. They had studied the artifact for centuries, yet it had taken a human's unpredictable nature to unlock its potential in this way. As the Careth ships disappeared over the horizon, Alex remained vigilant. He knew this victory was temporary. Other threats would come, drawn by the artifact's power. Yet he was no longer just a soldier. He was a guardian, a bridge between humans and the mysteries of the galaxy. He felt a subtle pulse from the artifact, a message he could not yet fully understand. It was a warning and a promise, telling him that his journey was only beginning. Alex knew that he would face challenges far greater than this, but he also knew that humanity had something no other species possessed: courage, creativity, and the will to act when others hesitated. The chamber quieted, the aliens watching him with respect. Alex took a deep breath and looked out at the green horizon, the strange light of the planet reflecting in his eyes. He understood now that this was more than a mission. It was a test of humanity itself, and he had already passed. As the stars appeared in the darkened sky, he felt the artifact's energy flowing through him, steady and alive. He was ready for whatever would come next, ready to face the unknown with the same courage that had guided him this far. And in that moment, Alex knew something extraordinary. A single human, brave and determined, could change everything. The green sky had darkened completely, streaked with flashes of energy that seemed unnatural, as though the planet itself were alive and responding to the conflict. Captain Alex Hunter stood at the center of the alien facility, his senses alive with the pulse of the artifact flowing within him. The first wave of the Careth had retreated, but their presence still lingered in the energy patterns around the planet. He could feel them watching, planning and preparing for a second strike. The alien researchers were quiet now, observing Alex with a mix of awe and uncertainty. They had expected the artifact to be dangerous, unpredictable, even lethal, yet here was a human controlling it with calm precision. Alex moved among them, checking the integrity of the shields and systems. He could sense weak points and energy imbalances, subtle shifts that would have gone unnoticed by any other being. "We cannot underestimate them," Alex said, his voice steady. "The Careth will return stronger. We must prepare, not just with weapons, but with strategy. Their technology is powerful, but they cannot predict human ingenuity." One of the aliens nodded, its eyes bright with newfound respect. "You are remarkable. We have studied the artifact for centuries, yet no being has ever mastered it in this way. Your species, your mind, it is unlike anything we have encountered." Alex allowed himself a small smile. "We adapt," he said simply, "and sometimes we take risks others won't. That's how we survive." As night deepened, strange movements began to appear in the distance. Shadows flitted among the ruins beyond the facility, shapes Alex could sense long before his eyes detected them. The Careth were returning, this time in greater numbers. Their ships moved in formation, and he could feel the tension in the air as energy readings spiked. "Captain," the alien researcher said, "they are more organized than before. They have anticipated our defenses." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the artifact's energy guiding him. "Then we will be unpredictable in return," he replied. His mind worked quickly, sensing the flow of energy around the facility and within the approaching forces. He began rerouting power, not just to shields, but to the environment itself. He could feel the planet's energy responding, and with careful concentration, he subtly influenced it, creating barriers of light and pulses of force that would slow and confuse the enemy. The first wave of Careth soldiers landed near the outer perimeter. They were armored in black, jagged metal, their weapons crackling with energy. Alex moved to the front, feeling the artifact within him thrumming like a heartbeat. The soldiers hesitated, sensing something different about this human. Their leader's voice boomed across the battlefield. "You should have left the artifact alone," he shouted. "Now all will fall before our power." Alex stepped forward, his eyes steady and focused. "I protect, not destroy," he said. "And you will find that courage and intelligence can overcome even the greatest strength." The battle erupted. The Careth attacked with precision, but Alex's connection with the artifact allowed him to anticipate every move. He created barriers of energy that shifted with the enemy's attacks, absorbing blasts and redirecting force to counter their advances. Rocks and debris moved under his control, striking enemies or blocking their path. The aliens watched, awe written across their faces, as one human coordinated the defense like a conductor directing a symphony. Alex's mind worked faster than any ordinary human could manage. He could sense the intentions of the enemy, predict movements, and guide the facility's energy in ways the Careth could not understand. Each attack was countered before it landed, each advance met with a carefully calculated response. The Careth leader realized that brute force alone would not work. He signaled a retreat, and his soldiers regrouped, forming a defensive line as he prepared to unleash a massive weapon. Alex could feel the energy surge from the device in the distance, the weapon's power enough to destroy much of the facility. He closed his eyes briefly, feeling the artifact's pulse in sync with his own heartbeat. With calm determination, Alex raised his hands, directing the energy around him. He could sense the flow of force through the facility, through the planet, through the very air itself. With careful precision, he created a barrier that absorbed the weapon's discharge, the energy bending and flowing harmlessly around the facility. The blast hit, shaking the ground violently, but the shields held. Alex's control of the artifact had prevented disaster. The Kareth leader's eyes widened in disbelief. "How can one being resist the artifact's power?" he demanded. Alex stepped forward, his gaze unwavering. "Because we do not rely on power alone," he said. "We use our minds, our courage, and our ability to act when others hesitate. That is why humans survive, and that is why we succeed." The battle raged for hours. Alex moved constantly, guiding energy, predicting attacks, and coordinating the aliens' actions. He felt the artifact responding to him, lending insight and precision, and he realized that he was no longer just a soldier. He was a guardian, a protector, a force of human ingenuity and courage amplified by a power older than any civilization. As the night wore on, the Kareth forces began to falter. They had superior numbers and technology, but they could not adapt to the unpredictable strategies Alex devised. He used every advantage, every subtle energy flow, every shift in the environment to outmaneuver them. The aliens fought alongside him, their movements now confident and precise, guided by his insight. Finally, the Kareth leader signaled a retreat. Their forces began to withdraw, leaving the battlefield to the humans and aliens who had defended it. Alex stood among them, his chest heaving, his body exhausted but his mind sharp. He had not just survived, he had turned the tide of battle. The alien researcher approached him, its voice filled with awe. "You have done what no being before could," it said. "You have mastered the artifact, defended this place, and changed the course of this conflict. You are extraordinary." Alex looked at the sphere, now calm and pulsing gently, as if satisfied with the human's performance. "I did what needed to be done," he said quietly. "Courage and intelligence are stronger than any weapon if used wisely." The aliens nodded, understanding the truth in his words. They had studied the artifact for centuries, yet it had taken a human's creativity, adaptability, and fearlessness to unlock its potential in this way. Alex's actions had not just protected the facility, they had demonstrated the unique strength of humanity. As the green sky began to lighten slightly with the coming dawn, Alex felt the artifact's energy settle within him. He was no longer just a human soldier, he was something more. He could sense the galaxy beyond the planet, the potential for both threat and opportunity, and he knew that his journey was far from over. The Kareth would return, perhaps with even greater force, but Alex was ready. He had learned to trust the artifact, to trust himself, and to trust the unique qualities that made humans capable of achieving what no other species could. He looked at the alien researchers, who now treated him with a mixture of respect and cautious hope. "We survived because we acted," he said. "We survived because we did not hesitate. And we survived because we believed in our abilities, even when the odds seemed impossible." The aliens murmured in agreement, their expressions reflecting a newfound understanding of humans. Alex realized that this battle had changed more than just the immediate conflict. It had changed the way these advanced beings saw humanity, and perhaps how the galaxy would come to see them. As the facility settled into a tense quiet, Alex allowed himself a brief moment of reflection. He had disobeyed the warning, touched the artifact, and faced the Kareth with courage and intelligence. He had survived, but more importantly, he had shown what humans could achieve when they acted with determination, creativity, and fearlessness. The artifact pulsed gently, almost like it was communicating approval. Alex understood that this was only the beginning. Greater challenges awaited, threats that could reach across the stars, but he was ready. With the artifact's power and humanity's unique strength, he could face whatever came next. The first light of dawn touched the alien ruins, casting long shadows across the crystalline ground. Alex Hunter stood tall, weary but unbroken, a symbol of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. He had not just changed a battle, he had begun to change the way the galaxy would see humanity. The stage was set for the next challenge, one that would test not only his abilities but the very nature of human courage and adaptability. And Alex knew, deep within himself, that he was ready to face it, no matter the cost. The green sky had faded into a deep, calm shade as dawn approached, yet the tension in the air remained. Captain Alex Hunter stood on the highest platform of the alien facility, the artifact's gentle pulse resonating through him like a heartbeat. The Careth had retreated, but their presence lingered in the energy patterns across the planet. Alex could feel it, an anticipation of what was coming. They would not give up so easily. The alien researchers were working quietly now, their movements precise and confident, guided by Alex's earlier instructions. He looked at them and nodded. "We've done well," he said. "But this is not over. We must prepare for what comes next." One of the aliens stepped closer, its eyes reflecting the artifact's light. "You have changed everything," it said softly. "You have shown that humans are capable of things we could never imagine. Even our enemies fear your potential." Alex allowed himself a small smile. "We survive because we act, because we think, and because we never give up. That is what makes us strong." Suddenly, the energy patterns in the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The Careth fleet had returned, larger and more powerful than before. Their ships moved with terrifying precision, and the energy readings suggested they carried weapons capable of destroying the entire facility. Alex felt the pulse of the artifact intensify within him, as if it were warning him of the scale of the threat. He took a deep breath, centering himself. "This is it," he said. "We face them together and we will win, not with brute force alone, but with intelligence, courage, and unity." The first Careth ships descended, firing energy beams that struck the facility's outer defenses. Alex raised his hands, feeling the artifact's power flow through him. He could sense the environment, the flow of energy, and the intentions of the enemy. With a subtle gesture, he redirected the energy, creating barriers that absorbed the attacks and sent bursts of force back toward the ships. The aliens watched in awe as Alex moved among the control panels and defensive positions, guiding every action with precision. He anticipated attacks before they happened, calculated the best responses, and adjusted the flow of energy around the facility to maximize their defenses. The Careth were strong, but they could not predict the humans' ingenuity. On the ground, Careth soldiers landed, their armor dark and jagged, their weapons crackling with destructive energy. Alex stepped forward, his senses heightened, feeling the energy of each soldier as if it were a part of the planet itself. He directed the artifact's power subtly, moving debris and energy pulses to block attacks and create openings. The Careth leader appeared, larger and more imposing than any Alex had faced before. "You have interfered where no being should," the leader shouted, his voice echoing across the battlefield. "You will pay for your defiance." Alex met his gaze steadily. "I protect life, not destroy it, and courage, intelligence, and action can overcome even the strongest power." The battle escalated. Ships fired, soldiers advanced, and energy beams cut through the air. But Alex remained calm, his mind and body in perfect harmony with the artifact. He could sense the flow of energy through the environment, through the enemy, and through the facility. Every move he made was precise, every decision guided by insight and intuition. The aliens followed his lead, coordinating their defenses and counterattacks. The Careth found themselves overwhelmed, not by raw strength, but by the unpredictable strategies Alex devised. He used the environment, the flow of energy, and the artifact's guidance to outmaneuver them at every turn. As the battle reached its peak, Alex noticed the artifact responding in a new way. It was no longer just lending insight. It was revealing possibilities, showing him how to end the conflict without unnecessary destruction. He understood that the Careth could be defeated not by annihilation, but by outsmarting them, using their own tactics against them. With careful calculation, Alex redirected the energy flow, creating illusions and barriers that confused the Careth soldiers. Their attacks became disorganized, their formations broken. He guided the aliens to take advantage of these openings, and slowly, the tide of the battle turned. The Careth leader realized his advantage slipping. He signaled a retreat, but Alex anticipated this. With precise timing, he blocked their escape routes using energy barriers, forcing them into positions where their own attacks could be used against them. One by one, their ships were disabled, their soldiers captured or forced to surrender. Finally, the battlefield fell silent. The Careth had been defeated, not by sheer force, but by strategy, courage, and human ingenuity amplified by the artifact's power. The aliens approached Alex, their expressions a mix of respect, amazement, and relief. "You have done what no one else could," the lead researcher said. "You have not only defended the facility but shown that humanity possesses qualities we cannot replicate. You are extraordinary." Alex looked at the artifact, its surface calm and glowing softly. He could feel its energy settling within him, as if acknowledging his actions. "We survived because we acted, because we trusted ourselves, and because we believed in what we could do," he said quietly. "That is what makes humans strong." The aliens nodded, understanding the truth in his words. They had studied the artifact for centuries, yet it had taken a human's courage, creativity, and adaptability to unlock its true potential. Alex had not just protected a device, he had changed the way these beings, and perhaps the galaxy, would view humanity. As the first light of dawn touched the alien landscape, Alex felt a profound sense of calm. The Careth threat had been neutralized, the facility secured, and the artifact stable. But he knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown threats and opportunities, and humanity's role in it was just beginning to be revealed. He turned to the alien researchers. "We've done well today," he said, "but there will be more challenges. We must continue to learn, to adapt, and to be ready. Courage and intelligence are our greatest weapons, and together we can face anything." The aliens listened, their expressions serious but hopeful. They had witnessed a single human rise above fear, wield power wisely, and inspire those around him. They had seen the unpredictable brilliance of humanity in action, and it had left a lasting impression. Alex took a moment to reflect. He had disobeyed a warning, touched the artifact, and faced overwhelming odds. Yet in doing so, he had not only survived, he had triumphed, proven humanity's unique strength, and safeguarded a power that could shape the galaxy. He felt the artifact pulse gently, a reminder of the responsibility it carried. It was not a weapon to dominate, but a tool to understand, protect, and advance knowledge. And now, in human hands, guided by courage and insight, it could become a force for discovery and unity. The alien researchers began preparations to study the artifact further, now guided by Alex's insights. He knew that their collaboration could bring great advancements, not just for the planet, but for countless civilizations across the galaxy. Humanity's contribution would not be overlooked. It had been proven in the heat of battle, through ingenuity, bravery, and decisive action. Alex looked out at the horizon, the green sky now softening into the colors of dawn. He could sense the ripple of change spreading across the planet, the subtle shift in energy patterns as life resumed around the facility. The artifact's pulse was steady, its presence a reminder that choices, courage, and intelligence could shape outcomes in ways no one could predict. He took a deep breath, feeling a sense of pride and responsibility. The galaxy would continue to test him and humanity, but he was ready. He had seen the potential for greatness, and he knew that humans could rise to meet any challenge, no matter how impossible it seemed. As the alien researchers gathered around, Alex felt the bond of cooperation solidify. This victory was not his alone. It belonged to all who had acted with courage and intelligence. Together, they had defended a powerful artifact, repelled a dangerous enemy, and set the stage for a new understanding between species. The Kara threat had been defeated, but the lesson remained clear. Human ingenuity, bravery, and adaptability could achieve what no other species could. Alex Hunter, a single human soldier, had changed the course of events on this planet, and his actions would ripple across the stars. With the artifact's energy flowing gently through him, Alex stepped forward, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. He knew that humanity's story was just beginning, and that their courage and intellect would continue to shape the galaxy in ways no one could yet imagine. The sun rose fully over the alien horizon, casting light across the crystalline terrain and the calm, glowing sphere. Alex stood tall, a symbol of human determination, creativity, and courage. He had acted when others hesitated, made choices when others feared, and shown that humans could face the unknown with strength, wisdom, and heart. In that moment, he understood the truth of the artifact's power. It had chosen him not for his strength alone, but for his courage, intelligence, and the human spirit. And with that, he knew humanity had changed the galaxy forever.